everybody. This is the Game Chat Podcast. We are live. It is Thursday, January 28th at 1 o'clock Boise time, Mountain Central Time. Is that what it is called? Mountain Standard. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, we're here in the shed. I'm Jack Morgan, joined by Brandon Williamson.
Hello there.
Eli Laudenbach.
Hello.
And shortly, Matthew Johnson. We are also on YouTube.
Hello, YouTube.
For the first time. Not live, because you have to, apparently, it takes 24 hours to create a live account thing. We were trying to do it 10 minutes before the start of the show. So we are just going to record it and then put it on YouTube afterwards. At least that's the plan. We'll see. Video might not turn out well, and we might not put it on YouTube at all. So this could all be a lie. But we are here. We got an hour to just talk. We got some news to talk about, and then we'll get into our little rebuilding series. The number to call in if you just want to hang out with us, 646-668-8672. Just a reminder, you can follow us on Instagram
at GameChat.podcast.
That's my bad. I usually say at.
It's okay.
You were picking up.
It was an audible. Yeah, it was. The play was rushed,
Good
and
job.
I did what I had to.
Matthew will tell us usually to follow us on Twitter at TheGameChatPod, and Brandon doesn't have anything yet. You can be the YouTube guy.
Oh, what's our YouTube?
What's our YouTube? That's a great question.
Game Chat Podcast.
Game Chat Podcast. I think that's all you have to search. Yeah. So yeah, Instagram. We have the link tree now. We're link tree guys.
We are big time.
Yeah.
If you have a link tree, you're big time. So.
I think so, because we have more than one account.
There's 6 links on there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's amazing.
And I can look to see how many times people have clicked on it. There's already been 6 clicks.
Wow.
2 of them are probably from me.
I think the other 4 are me. There you go.
So, hey, and we also have 3 subscribers on YouTube. So appreciate those subscribers for us.
Go subscribe, people.
Yeah, we'll get some content up there hopefully.
Game Chat Podcast in the search bar.
There you go. Brandon, you're a new YouTube guy.
I'm already in it.
Love it. Okay, so before we get to the rebuilding, we'll talk about the Seahawks new offense coordinator when Matthew gets here, because I feel like he'll probably have something to say about that. Congratulations to Gabe Johnson. He committed to Eastern this morning. Gabe is a defensive end for Ballville football. He was on the podcast I believe in May. Him, Christian Galvin, and Andrew Sermon were on the podcast. That's one of our top 3 episodes, I want to say, in terms of downloads.
Where's he going?
Eastern Washington.
Awesome.
Following Sam McPherson. Yeah, pretty good FCS school, I believe it's called. Yeah, so we got that. Okay, can we talk? We have to talk a little bit about the GameStop stuff, just because that's everything I see on every feed.
Yeah.
I'm not qualified to talk about what's going on because I don't know anything about it.
Me neither. But I will say, I was in a GameStop for the first time in probably a year or two, about a week ago.
Yeah.
And I looked in there, and I was like, this is awful. Why would anyone go here and not buy anything online? Prices are
well, you know what's
online,
happening.
availability.
Do you know anything about it?
No, I just.
So there was a bunch of these rich guys that had hedge funds on it. Basically, they were gonna make money off of it, no matter what. I don't know completely how that works. And then some people on Reddit found out about it, and they bought the stock a bunch to raise the stock. So then the people that had hedge funds on it had to keep buying it too, to raise it up. So they would just keep on bidding on it to get it higher. So it has nothing to do with GameStop. It just has to do with some guy on Reddit found a loophole and so all these billionaires are pissed off now because they had to keep buying the stock so that they could keep their hedge funds.
Yeah.
And so now, the same thing happened with AMC yesterday.
And there's one more, I can't remember what it is, but there's 3 different ones.
Yeah, and so now what people are mad about today is that Robinhood. Do you know what Robinhood is?
Yeah, it's an app, right?
That you can buy stocks on. They were shutting down people buying
and trading
with GameStop and AMC, and people are pissed about that because that's you're not supposed to be able to regulate that.
Yeah.
And I saw this clip from I think it was some news channel, and it was this billionaire guy, and he was almost crying. He was like, "This is just an attack on the rich people," and I was like, "You've got to be kidding me, bro!
You're swimming in hundos, buddy. Just calm down over there."
But that's all they do is once they get all that money, they just put it in the stock market, and that's all they care about. So I don't know.
Yeah, pretty crazy stuff.
There's I don't think anyone truly understands it, and that's the most frustrating part. Is that you see, like I was watching Nick this morning. He had like 50,000 viewers. Every single person in the chat had a different opinion on it. So it's like
the same thing on Twitter. Everybody's got like a different view on it,
and they all think they know what they're talking about. So that's why I just don't even. I don't even want to pretend like I do know because I don't. So why? Like I'm not going to say anything because I don't.
But
I don't know what I'm supposed.
the bottom line is a lot of people are working the system and making a lot of money on it. So good for them.
Good, because they should. Yeah, if they can.
But
sure.
Out of all places, GameStop, which I think me and Jack were having a conversation about this probably like a couple weeks ago. About GameStop, I mean, the way they're going to go out of business with everything going digital and the lack of like the new consoles out and stuff. It's just funny.
Yeah, we literally were like talking about that, like, and then the next day, this all happened. So, yeah, I don't know, whatever.
So this, you might be able to answer this because you're a business guy. Like all of this, the raising of the stocks right for GameStop, like this obviously helps them, right? Like they're getting
GameStop, yeah.
GameStop, yes, a lot.
But eventually it's gonna crash, and then they're.
Obviously this isn't. They're not set forever, but like this is just extending their life period just by a little bit.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean it depends what they do. I mean, I can't imagine they just go out and like spend a bunch of money and open
Right.
stores and stuff.
Right.
So they're probably just gonna hold on to it and then lose it all when it crashes again. So.
Okay, so back to sports. David Coley is the new head coach of the Houston Texans.
Who? That you're all probably asking right now?
He is the passing game coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. We legitimately laughed out loud when that news broke yesterday. Like, how do you look at that?
All people.
You're hiring a coach, and you went to the Ravens, and you said yes, the passing game is the part of this team that I want on my team.
It's just as bad as like hiring the Bills a run coordinator. Like it's it's just like the epitome of like the laughing stock of what teams can only do, and the Ravens just run the ball, and like the Bills just pass the ball, and like the fact that they signed the passing coordinator is just.
So he was a wide receivers coach he was at A&M in the 90s, Buccaneers, Steelers, all in the 90s. Then he was with the Eagles for like 15 years as their wide receivers coach. Imagine being a wide receivers coach for the Eagles for 15 years.
Yeah.
Was he the wide receiver coach when they won a Super Bowl? No.
So then he went to Kansas City and was a assistant head coach and wide receivers coach for 3 years. Then for 1 year, I think 2 years, when they drafted out Josh Allen, he was the quarterback coach. And obviously he didn't start developing until this year. So that didn't work. And then for the past 2 years, he's been the assistant head coach, wide receivers coach, and passing game coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. And the Houston Texans wanted him over Eric Bieniemy and Leslie Frazier, who is the defense coordinator for the Bills.
And I think that's what we should talk about. It's just the Eric Bieniemy part. I
Right.
mean, there's got to be something going on that we don't see, like that they don't release.
I'm convinced.
There's something going on in these interviews with him that is it's just not clicking with these owners or something. Like this guy he's got to be just screwing up these interviews. With how successful the Kansas City Chiefs offense is, there's no reason why he should not be head coach yet.
Makes no sense.
And they're probably going to get him back next year. But there's something going on behind the scenes, and it's interesting to watch.
He's probably throwing. He's probably like the Chiefs probably like, listen, if you don't take any of those HC jobs, you say that's like we'll give you a nice juicy deal. We'll give you some incentives. And he's like, okay. And he goes to the interview and he's like, yeah, I don't even show up to practice and all this. And they're like, oh, okay. And he just goes back to the Chiefs and takes him to another Super Bowl.
He goes to the Texans interview and he goes, yeah, well, let's keep Deshaun, don't trade him, but we're gonna sit him. And then like he just comes up with these just crazy plans.
Yeah. And he's like, by the way, Texas is my least favorite state. I hate this place.
I was looking for my phone and I realized it's.
Oh, hey YouTube.
People are gonna watch me go like this. I'm just scrambling around for my phone and it's recording. Oh, that was a moment.
That was a doozy.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a really perfect transition into our rebuilding series because we left off with the Texans. Not only were we just talking about their new head coach, but Deshaun Watson officially has requested a trade.
Like
8
hours later. Yeah, like 8 hours later after they signed a coach.
This is pretty much what we've been like. We knew this was going to happen, but I'm glad he did, or this came out at least, because it shuts up the people that were like, oh no, I think Deshaun Watson will be the starting quarterback for this team next season. And I was like, what happened? Yeah, tell him yes, we have. So yeah, he basically just sets up those people.
Do you think Jack, even though he's requested a trade, obviously we've known that he's probably wanted out this whole time. I mean, as sad as to say, there probably is still a small chance that he does come back if they can't and they reach a deal.
It's very small.
And he also has the no trade clause, right? Which
Right.
means that he can pretty much choose who he wants to go to and who he wants the Texans to have conversations with. So that also makes it kind of tough.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Okay, so let's just go right into the rebuild, like us talking about the Texans, because that's kind of what I think has to, that's all the stuff that I think factors into their decision of whether or not to trade Watson. Because it's hard, we talked about it, I think, on the last podcast, like, it's hard to trade guys when they said, I want to be traded, right? Like, that automatically diminishes their value. I don't know if it does in this case. I really don't think it does.
Yeah, I don't think it diminishes value, no.
Because Watson is so valuable right now.
His value is way too high for it to be diminished. Like there's nothing they can do unless they say unless there's some secret about him or whatever. Like I don't think there's anything you can do to make him less desirable to have as your
Yeah, and I think the Texans know what they got. I mean, I think they know that they're at least getting 3 first-round picks, or at least 2 in a premier player or something.
Right.
You know, it's going to be a package. It's going to be a lot, but
there's so many teams that want him that, like, even if they talk to, I'm just throwing it out there, like the Dolphins, and they're like, hey, like, no, we know you have to trade this guy, so we're gonna offer less. Then they're gonna be like, okay, we're gonna go to the 5 other teams that will pay way more than that, and then Dolphins will be like, no, okay, we'll stop. Sorry.
Yeah, and I mean, these teams that are going to trade for him, they know they have him for at least the next 5 years, and they keep him happy. So you know, it's going to be a lot, but it's probably going to be worth it in the end.
Right. So obviously Texans just hired their head coach. They have no picks in the first 2 rounds this year. Yeah, that's so bad.
Sucks.
They are $18 million over the cap limit. So not only do they have no picks, they have no cap space. Will Fuller is gone this offseason. They do not have enough money to bring him back, and there's plenty of other teams that are going to offer him money, even though this guy cannot stay healthy. I'm just, like, top of my head, like, Packers, Eagles are 2 teams that will definitely pay for that man, because when he's on the field, he's really good, and those teams need receivers, so, like, he's gone. I don't see any way they get Fuller back.
No, I don't see it either. Especially with all the bad blood of them trying to trade him during the what's it called, that little weekend there, what do they call it, trade deadline?
Yeah.
So that was interesting, but yeah, I don't think he's back.
Okay, do you guys have anything? What do you guys have also on the Texans?
My first point was get the Tunsil picks back for Deshaun, and that's pretty much just saying, if you guys don't know, Texans traded for Laramie Tunsil from the Miami Dolphins, and they gave up 3 first-round picks or whatever it was. This is why they don't have any first-round picks. And I think that you send them right back to either go to the Dolphins and see if you can get those picks back, or like someone like the Jets who has that capital to give. But yeah, I mean, that's the only way they're going to start this rebuilding process if they get those picks back.
So you're saying they should get rid of Tunsil to get the picks back?
No, get rid of Deshaun.
Get rid of Deshaun.
The picks they gave up for Tunsil. Yeah.
I was going to say, Tunsil was one of the only things I had that was like something they should probably hold on to.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good young tackle, but I think he is getting paid the most on their roster besides J.J. Watt.
Watt's 17. I'm
Okay.
looking at it right now. So
Yeah, I was
But, that was my next point, is they got to move on to J.J. I think they got to get younger. If they're going to rebuild, they need to get rid of those big contracts like that and let J.J. walk.
They're paying Brandon Cooks $12 million and Randall Cobb $10.5.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
My next point was get younger. That's pretty much what it was. Yeah. Besides the quarterback position, get younger.
They need literally every single position.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't go too specific because same thing. Like, they really need anything. But I kind of said the same thing, like, trade Watson because you're going to get a lot for Watson. I don't know how easy it's going to be to trade Watt because I don't know how many more effective years he has left. And then I also wrote Cobb just because he's also kind of old. They're paying him a lot.
Yeah.
But I did make an emphasis on picks or at least maybe, like, younger guys just because they need to, like, start over pretty much.
They need to rebuild. That's just where it's going to go.
Yeah. And I also made because I guess they had Deshaun Watson. Their offense wasn't great, but their defense was a huge problem.
Mm-hmm.
They were tied for the 3rd most receiving touchdowns conceded, most rushing touchdowns conceded, and most
Yikes.
rush yards conceded.
Yikes.
So, and I don't know, I didn't look too much into their linebackers because like 3 of their top 12 paid players are all linebackers. So I don't know if that means they're good or if they're sort of paid.
Whitney Merciless is pretty good, but I don't know much about the other ones. But
Yeah,
And he's
so,
paid a lot.
he gets paid a lot.
yeah, and so they have a couple. Well, they have 3 high paid linebackers. So I don't know if they try to get rid of them or keep them if they're good or not. But they definitely need help on the D line and the corners.
Corner, yeah, that's what I had highlighted as well.
And you can't address that if you don't have any picks or cap room. So, okay, so obviously, the nice thing about having literally no bright spots on your team but the quarterback is the quarterback's the most valuable position in football. So, by far, if you had to choose one position to be good at, you're choosing the quarterback. So that's the only bright spot really of this team. And I think we're all in agreement that they need to trade Watson. You're probably not going to get a guy like him for 10 plus years, but you can't just have him and have no one else.
Yeah, if you hold on to Watson this long, your team is going to look like this forever.
Yeah.
The sad part about it, this is just aftermath of Bill O'Brien, and the fact that you put them in this situation where they're in the desert pretty much, just got nothing around them.
But they also didn't hire a GM. They gave him their power.
Exactly.
They gave him both powers.
Yeah, they're not void of getting their finger pointed at them, but yeah, I mean, it's just they're in a tough situation. If you're a Texans fan, I feel bad for you. I'm sorry.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, okay, I have 7 teams that could potentially trade for Deshaun Watson, and I have their trade packages, kind of like what they would get back.
I like it. Yeah.
So, okay, first, these 2 are kind of the long shots. Carolina could offer Teddy Bridgewater. They have the 8th overall pick in this draft, a 2nd in this draft, and a 2022 first-round pick. It's not horrible. Teddy is not great, not good.
How much is he getting paid? Do we know?
How much is Teddy Bridgewater? Let's look it up.
That's something they would worry me with that one. Do they want to take on that contract
Teddy Brewer.
for what he is?
Yeah, I mean, you're not. But you're. Okay, let's see. He's under contract for 2 more years. His cap hit is 22 and 26 million.
Yeah,
So that's not bad.
That's something they could do. That's cheap.
And for Carolina, their team isn't horrible.
No, they got
a nice little thing going. Especially, I mean, if they keep McCaffrey healthy, their offense is looking real good. They have some good receivers too. I can't think too much about their defense. They were one of the teams that had at least kind of a close game with the Chiefs, at least for a little bit. I don't remember the exact score, but I remember they were actually. It was kind of a surprising run.
Carolina,
a lot of people expect their defense to be terrible.
Yeah.
And then they just try to at the same time. But they had a good year, a better year than I think we thought, and then they finished. They had the 8th overall pick, so it's kind of like best of both worlds.
Could you imagine that? Deshaun and Caffrey together?
I know, that's what I think. The only thing that I'd be worried about if I'm Carolina, and obviously we'll get to Carolina in this rebuilding series, but I still think you probably need one more weapon at a receiver standpoint.
They have DJ Moore. They're losing Curtis Samuel.
They're losing Moore and Samuel.
Huh?
They're losing Moore and Samuel.
No, they're keeping DJ
Moore.
Moore. They're keeping Curtis Samuel the free agent.
They still have Robbie Anderson.
Yes.
Yeah. But you don't have a tight end,
No.
so you need something more.
Yeah,
But
they need outside weapons.
And their defense is good. They went all defense last year in the draft, and so their defense will get younger. But okay, next I had Denver could offer Drew Lock. They had the 9th pick in the draft, and then same thing, 2nd round and a 2022 first. So you get Locke, who's a younger, cheaper option, definitely not as consistent or as experienced as Teddy Bridgewater.
Might have a higher ceiling though.
That's exactly. You might have a higher ceiling, and you pretty much get the same other picks that you would get from Carolina. I see those 2 teams as kind of long shots.
Yeah.
They have the 8th and 9th picks in the draft, so especially for Carolina, I could see them going after a quarterback or trading maybe for a team that would need a quarterback. I don't know. Carolina's just in a weird spot, but I don't really see Carolina or Denver making a move for Watson.
Me either, because when it comes to the Texans, I mean, they can just pretty much pick and choose which one they want there, because it's pretty much the same deal. But
yeah. Okay, so the two other teams I have, Atlanta is kind of a long shot too. They have the 4th overall pick. Very intriguing. at 4. They could offer the 4 Matt Ryan, a second, and a 2022 first. That would obviously help Atlanta's cap space. I don't see Texans doing that, really.
No.
What's Matt Ryan's $40 million, right? Cap hit next year? It's pretty bad.
Although the 4th overall pick is intriguing.
Yes, it is. So, I mean, if you can somehow get out of Matt Ryan's contract, cut him and pay him whatever
Right.
was it, 6 or 7 million, but yeah, that's a tough one.
New England is definitely thrown around in this conversation. The only thing they could offer them is picks, though. That's the yeah. They have the 15th overall pick. All these are from different various sites that I just looked up. It was 15th overall pick, their second this year, 2022 first round, 2022 second round, and a 2023 first round pick. So it's just basically just giving them every pick that they have. I just feel like they can get better. They'll be able to get better offers than that from New England. San Francisco 49ers are definitely thrown around. The one that I saw was Garoppolo, the 12th overall pick and the 3rd round pick this year, which is not a bad deal if you're the Niners.
No, they can get much better. That's the problem.
Definitely.
Exactly. We have a call coming in. I think this is a Reed, but we'll go to whoever it is. Hello? Hey, Reed.
What's up? You guys were talking about Watson, right? Sorry.
Yeah.
The class, so I was trying to stir about it.
2021, I think fine.
What did you guys already talk about? I mean, Dolphins and Jets are obviously burgers, but
Those are the next 2 that I have on the list to talk about.
oh, you talked about that. Okay. I think the Dolphins personally makes the most sense for Watson, even though you said Jets, but I mean, I would not want to go to the Jets if I was him. I mean, they never do well. Jamal Adams, you wanted out of there. This is the worst experience in his life. So I don't know.
Yeah, but they also have a new coach.
It's a whole new situation.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and they haven't been they've been bad under Gates, but historically, I mean, they went to the AFC Championship game. I guess it's probably 10 years now. But I mean, it's not like they have no history in the Jets. And Saleh seems like a bright spot. I don't know. I don't think the Jets is horrible.
I mean, people said the same thing about the Bills 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And now the Bills are a team that everybody kind of doesn't mind going to.
But you'd rather see the Dolphins?
Yeah. I'd rather see the Dolphins just because I feel like you guys made, that's a good point that the Jets could have success in the future. But if you went to the Dolphins, I feel like they could have success right away.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think if the Jets trade for him, because here's the package that I had for the Jets. They wouldn't give up all this, but it was some sort of combination. They have the number 2 overall pick, the 20-something from the Seahawks. They have the 34th overall pick, and the 2022 first. I think they have 2 2022 first, one from us, and Sam Darnold is all that they could offer the Texans.
That's crazy.
That is 20 times better than what the Niners were.
Yeah.
There's not a chance that the Niners.
But Reed, to your point, is they don't have any good wide receivers or running backs.
Yeah.
They have Mekhi Becton looks like he's going to be a really good offensive lineman. But other than that, what kind of weapons do you have on offense? So now, if you're Deshaun, you're literally in the same situation, except you probably like your head coach a little bit better, and that's about it.
And defense.
And defense, yeah.
I think if I was Saleh, I would just want to build it up when he was on the Niners. Get someone who can manage the field and draft and sign well on defense, you know? They didn't have many I think that he was with the Niners, and I think that's what the recipe for him would be, rather than to trade for Watson and then just be nowhere. You can't take anyone. You're trading for Watson, then you're just gonna get what you have in the Texans. I feel like they will just be a fine team.
Yeah. That's a good point.
No, I agree.
Question I already asked Brendan and Jack this, but I want to know Matthew and Eli. What do you think was the worst call? The throwing the one in the Super Bowl for the Seahawks, or the field goal by LaFleur last Sunday?
That's a tough one.
You're pulling heartstrings here.
I mean, I would say probably the throwing at the one, just because of the magnitude of the situation. Yeah, I mean, you have Marshawn Lynch at the 1 yard line, and you're already bringing back bad memories for me. But yeah, I would say that one over.
The only thing about that is I don't know if because I said the same exact thing, Matthew, and then I thought about it, and I was like, I don't know if that if we're talking just the call,
It's not a bad call.
the play call is not
No.
It just got red and you got picked. That's just the way it goes. But kicking the ball to keep it a touchdown game, it's just a bad call. I mean,
That definitely a worse call, but I
That was
don't.
a worse call, and the other play was just a bad decision.
I mean, obviously there's bias in the situation. Obviously you guys felt it a different way than like me and Eli did. So I mean, obviously you guys are gonna be like, "Oh, throwing the one was terrible." But if you're talking about a bad coaching call, it's by far the field goal.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's hard for like Seahawks fans to be like, yeah, that was a good call or anything like that. Like the Green Bay was the worst call, but like it obviously ended up way worse because I mean
Well, yeah.
the result.
Yeah.
But if he catches a slant and scores, then it's a great call because they sold out on the run.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like the more I think about that play, it's more like, okay, if we ran it, what's to say they can just stop us on that play and we have to throw on third down? You know? But I mean, that's just bad memories. I don't really.
Yeah, I don't know why we keep talking about this.
That was my text of the day. I was just trying to see what people would say.
Are you ready for
I
the?
have another question.
Okay, go ahead.
That was what. Come on.
Do you think Call of Duty is dead?
No.
No.
Because, like right now, like not. I think Call of Duty is trending down right now.
Just because you don't play it.
The game sucks.
Really, Call of Duty's come out with a lot of bad games, and then there's one that comes out and everybody plays it. It's just the way it goes. They're not all going to be great, but if they're 1 for 3, they're having a pretty good time. Because there's still a lot of people playing Modern Warfare over Cold War, but yeah.
I think I'm going to send out the draft order for our restart draft soon.
Awesome.
Just so everyone knows and we can prepare a little bit better. Have you researched it already? No, you have not. You haven't.
If it started with
I'm gonna type out the notes, but I have some guys that I want to go after. I like talking about. I have an idea. I mean, I don't know how it's gonna work with coaches because I know what coach I want to pick, but I don't know if like I have to pick him like.
Yeah, we have to decide if we want.
Like everyone's gonna pick coaches, or just be like, oh, you can pick a coach whenever you feel like.
the coach would
I
be my
think-
last pick.
Which would be interesting.
I think you should be able to do it whenever, but.
No, you should.
Yeah,
honestly.
I feel like yeah.
I would probably pick
Yeah.
mine last.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
makes
think I'm gonna
sense.
pick like.
There's plenty
I don't think
of
I'd
good
take a
coaches
coach
out there.
over like Mika Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Right,
Like,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
okay, yeah, like,
Definitely.
yeah, but you should be able to pick him whenever you want. But
Yeah,
it should be.
I mean, you want Bill Belichick #1, have it. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, literally.
Because that's gonna be like whoever gets the last pick in the last round is the worst coach.
No, but no.
There's only 10.
There's only
coaches
10
in the-
coaches. Yeah.
So there's 10 good coaches in the NFL. It's not. You're not gonna get stuck with Adam Gase. Like,
Unless you take 2 coaches. I'm gonna take Andy Reid on my first and Bill Belichick on my second. Bill Belichick's
Right.
gonna be an assistant coach.
World domination,
It
baby.
doesn't matter who's on my team. I'm winning the Super Bowl.
By the way, what do you guys think about the Hawks?
We're getting to that. We're getting to that at the end. We're getting to that at the end because Matthew just got here, so we'll talk about that later.
What about the Houston?
Reed, why don't you just come to Boys to join the show?
That's a horrible signing.
About Houston,
Yeah,
the
we don't like
Texans.
it. We don't like it.
Yeah, we opened our show with that.
Did you see what he was on Kansas City? Here's their wide receivers coach of the year. They had 0 touchdowns by wide receivers. The Ravens, he was at the Ravens this year, and their wide receiver was their worst room of the team.
Yeah,
Like what?
yeah, it's bad. He was also
I
the
still would want that job, so.
he was also the QB coach when Josh Allen was drafted and was like 56% completion percentage.
Yikes.
So he's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Reed. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
Okay, so
One more question.
Thanks for listening to our segment with Reed.
let's just have Reed can just join the show and talk for 30 minutes on all of these live. You will hear Reed in a week, 2 weeks, a week, week and a half, week and a half. For that restart draft. I'm so excited for the restart draft. I've been doing so much research and it's not even gonna matter because I'm gonna change my mind 10 times before and I'll panic. Last year when we did it, I panicked so hard and took Michael Thomas. I'm pissed at myself for taking that. My 3 picks were, I think I went Quentin Nelson, then Michael Thomas, then Deshaun Watson. So like it didn't end up being horrible, but I should have went like defense. I don't think anyone picked Jamal Adams or TJ Watt, and I was like, man, if I would have picked one of those guys and
You
had,
took Nick Bosa. Or maybe it was Reed.
Reed.
One of you guys
Reed
did. Took Nick Bosa too.
I mean, Nick Bosa's probably a top 10 pick in our restart draft this year.
Age. I mean, age alone.
There's, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you guys. I'm not going to say my whole draft board, but like, I feel like the first 10 picks are quarterbacks and D linemen.
Yeah.
And probably
No
maybe
doubt.
a couple O linemen there, but like, because D line, there's like probably 5 good ones that are young, and other than that, like, then you're going to start having to reach for the older guys or the, like, you have like Watt, Bosa, Myles Garrett, like there's like a couple elite guys at that top that I think will probably go in the first round.
I get excited about Nick Bosa, so I'm sorry, but did you guys see the stat that was like the most QB pressures in the playoffs in the last 2 years, and Frank Clark has 22, and then Nick Bosa has 22?
He had 22 pressures last year in the postseason.
The tied most the last 2 years. Are you kidding me? Man's a problem.
He's
Please come back healthy.
yeah, for real. I think people kind of forget about him too
Definitely.
because he was hurt this year. Okay, yeah. So the picks. Did I already say what we had for the New York Jets?
Jets. Yeah, we have Dolphins left.
Dolphins, Tua, the 3rd overall pick, the 18th overall pick, and the 50th overall pick.
Do I like Tua? That's just the bottom question of that one.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the only people that can probably contend with the Jets. Picks wise.
I mean, if I'm Houston, I would do Miami.
I would do Miami as
I
well.
think so, too.
That'd be my number one choice. That's why my first point was get the picks back from the Tunsil trade. It's just it makes sense. And you
So
get
say
young
they
talent.
do it. Say they do it. If you're Houston, so now you have Tua, the 3rd overall pick, and the 18th overall pick. What do you do with the 3rd overall pick? So I think that's part of our job in this rebuilding series is to say, okay, now we have the picks. That's the easy part. Do you go Okay, this is a conversation for another time. We're going to do this later on the pod.
I knew it was coming.
Like where we would rank the receivers in
Yeah.
this year's draft. Because I have Jamar Chase at number 1. And a lot of people, I think, have Devonta Smith at number 1. I have Jamar Chase.
I see him interchangeable. Yeah.
They are interchangeable. And
Yeah.
probably. I think, okay, the way I break it down, and Waddle's definitely there too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Waddle's your playmaker. If you want a guy that's going to be electric, make plays, Jalen Waddle.
Tyreek Hill too. Yeah.
I think Devonta Smith is going to be a great number 2 receiver in the NFL. He's a really good route guy. He's not going to dominate receive like corners the way he did in college. Like he's not going to be the guy that you can just throw it to 20 times a game. Jamar Chase is that guy that can throw it. Like he's going to be a 1. If you need a 1, go get Jamar Chase. If you need a 2, which some teams need a 2, like a guy that can
Packers. Sorry.
right, a guy that can just like catch the ball. And so that's a different conversation. But I think if you're Miami and you're at 3, or Houston now and you're at 3, Jamar Chase is intriguing to me because now you have Cooks and Cobb, who you're paying $22 million combined, or you're 2 and 3, and that's not horrible.
Yeah, I
What else
probably
would
go
you
wide
do at 3?
receiver. I go wide receiver probably.
Because you're not going quarterback when you have
No.
Tua.
And I mean, obviously, if they do make that trade, they're just gonna try to get the best player at the best spot, and I think that's a great decision.
Who's that guy from Oregon?
Sewell.
Sewell.
Yeah.
Is he a left tackle?
He's a tackle. I mean, they
Or
can
they can tackle, yeah.
They're interchangeable, but
You don't really need it. Yeah, they don't need one because
They have Tunsil.
Tunsil.
yeah,
That's what. Yeah.
that's one. Of the
I
best
bet they actually trade back. I bet
Probably
they
true.
get the 3rd and they trade back to a team that needs a quarterback. Because there's
They see as many picks as they can.
It's true.
yeah,
They
so
can
they
pick that second or-
probably trade down multiple times. I bet, and they're
I
just like, we're just gonna go until we.
Yeah, because they could probably wait a little while and still get Jamar Chase.
Yeah, or even
Not-
another
they-
receiver,
that's-
like
yeah.
anyone that.
They probably shouldn't wait too long, but there's a lot of quarterbacks and a lot of teams need quarterbacks, and so the first 6 or 7 picks are probably all going to be quarterbacks, or most of them are.
The first team comes to mind is the Lions, where they pick 7,
Yeah.
and they drop back to even 7. They have a good chance of getting one of those guys. So.
And then they get a couple seconds from it.
Yeah.
I think that's
probably the best option if they.
a pretty
go
good
with
course of
that.
action if you're
Yeah.
the Texans to follow. Listen to the game chat.
Right.
Whoever Jack
Yeah.
Easterby, whatever that guy's name is, you get 3rd and 18th, and then you can trade down again. And then there's so many quarterback needy teams and so many other good players that aren't quarterbacks in this draft that you can trade down and you'll be fine. And that's what you need. You need picks because you're literally 0. So, all right. Anything else on the Texans?
Just in general, are we doing the rebuild? Or?
Yeah, let's see what your points are.
Ooh. Yeah, so I mean, I think for sure they need to try to trade J.J. Watt. You can already mention
Yeah.
that. First year, he's got 1 year left in his deal.
Yeah, you came.
There's gonna
Sorry,
be-
you came in kind of like.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Just
Yeah,
give us
I
what you got.
definitely feel like they need to trade him away. There's definitely some teams out there I'm sure that we would. I'm not sure what you could really get for him with how much money he makes in 1 year on his deal. But I would also bring back Will Fuller, which coming off a 6-game suspension to end the season, I would personally bring him back because I don't think he's going to get as much money as he would have got if he would have played the entire year.
Okay, so we had him. We said he's gone.
Ooh,
Because of the money thing, because how
Yeah.
much they're paying. Like,
Well, I don't know. I just don't know how much after that suspension.
So, but the only thing is, they're under the cap right now. They're over.
Right.
They're $18 million over,
Yeah.
and they're paying Cooks 12, and they're paying Randall Cobb 10.5.
So that's why we said they probably have to.
That's why I just don't
But
think
Fuller
they.
won't.
The question is, we were thinking because I've seen like Green Bay and Philadelphia are both teams that need wide receivers. So I wonder if they pay Fuller. But I don't know if you think you don't think Fuller is going to have a big market.
I don't know. I just feel like players coming off that sort of suspension are not players immediately everybody is like, I want this guy.
Yeah,
And I don't know, but yeah, I mean that's tough because I mean you're looking at this roster. It's like Will Fuller's 26 years old,
Yeah.
Randall Cobb's 30, and who is the other
Right.
one? Brandon
Cooks.
Cooks.
Probably 30.
Brandon Cooks who gets hurt
29.
every single year.
No.
These are the guys. So I mean, if they're stuck with those contracts, yeah, I would probably let him walk and draft a wide receiver. But if you can
Yeah.
somehow get rid of one of those two guys that
Oh,
are
I
30
totally
years old,
agree.
Yeah,
I
Will
totally agree.
Fuller is the guy you want
Definitely.
with Tua.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I had that written down. I think I just wrote Cobb's name, but Cook kind of the same thing. It's just tough because Fuller, his contract just ran out, right? So
Yeah.
it's just he's the easiest to get rid of a receiver. He's the easiest one. But if they were to keep any of those three, I feel like
No, that's a
Yeah.
good point.
And then-
Fuller is definitely the guy.
Yeah. And then late in the draft, you have to get some sort of youth running back because David Johnson and Duke Johnson, both old men running in your backfield.
Also, guys, you're paying Duke
Yeah.
$5 million.
That's
Yeah,
Go-
they're getting paid like 13.
That's a
combined
Go
or
to your
something,
big
right?
board, find a running back in the 6th or 7th round that you like, and take them. Because no matter what, you're probably not going to be starting a rookie running back with those two and how much you're paying. So you might as well just pick somebody who you think can learn from those two and then hopefully emerge in a year or two. That's mainly all
I
I
like
got
that.
for that team.
Yeah.
All right, we have
I
a
like
call.
that too.
Sorry, I'm going to take it really quick. All right, you're live.
What's up, boys?
How's it going?
Hey, guys. Good. I just had a question. I've been doing like a couple like mock draft simulators over the past couple days, and I just wanted to hear how would you rank Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, and Kyle Trask? Because I've seen a lot of different orders and how people are ranking those.
That's a great question. I think we're going to, as the draft gets closer, definitely on the podcast, we'll rank these guys like more officially. Gut feeling, I think Lawrence is my 1.
Yeah.
Dude, I really want to. I really want to like actually go back and watch tape of all these guys because I want to have a clear ranking going into the draft just so I have and I want to have like facts to back it up. I still think like personally I'm gonna go Fields, then Wilson, then Lance, then Trask. So Lawrence, Fields, Wilson, Trask, or Lance, Trask. That's me personally. What do you guys?
That's my list as well.
Personally, I'm putting Jones over Trask.
You like
I
Jones
am
over
off.
Trask?
I am off the Kyle Trask full. There's no way. I really see like Drew Lock peak from him, to be honest.
I didn't know that was an option. I'll take Matthews less.
You think Matthews this?
Yeah,
I think
agree
I
with
like Mac
everything
Jones
else.
over Kyle Trask. I was
Yeah.
just going off.
Where do you like Jones?
I think he'll go in the first round. I think if the Colts get Stafford, well, actually maybe not. I think he'll go in the first round. I see him as kind of like an Eli Manning type guy. Like he's never going to be the best in the league, obviously, but his arm talent, like you can see it, and like he knows how to manage games, and he can definitely win you some. So.
No, I think you're right. I mean, if the Colts got Mac Jones, I think it's a perfect fit. I mean, you play defense, you have a game manager who can hand the ball off. I mean, that's pretty much what the Colts need at this point. So I think that's a great plan. If the Colts didn't get one of these big names in the free agent market, that Mac Jones or, I mean, even Kyle Trask is a name that probably fits their system.
Yeah, another thing I thought about him too, I'm actually kind of a big Mac Jones fan, but like he's also a guy that you could like plug into like a team that's like bottom half of the league, and like I'm not franchise or anything like that, but like he can definitely like be a guy that you just plug in right away and he's just ready to go.
Right.
Like I
He'll buy
don't
some
think there's
time,
a lot more growth than he has. So
But we'll give out these official as we get close to the draft because that's definitely you could rank all those quarterbacks a lot of different ways.
Definitely.
yeah.
All right, man. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
See ya.
Later.
All right, we got another call on the line, and hello.
Hi.
Hello. You're on the air.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
You got a question for us?
What's up with you? Hold on a minute. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Okay. I said, what's up with you?
Oh, we're just talking some football. Do you got a question for us?
Actually, I don't know. I really didn't get to watch football this fall at all.
Gotcha.
Do you have a favorite team at all? Like a family favorite team?
Chicago Bears.
Okay.
Ooh.
There you go. Go Bears.
Are you a Chicago native at all?
My personal trainer is a Green Bay fan.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
He's
there
pretty
you go.
sad today, huh?
Yeah, and so is my friend that does the announcing for wrestling. He's a Green Bay fan,
Oh.
and I'm a Bears fan, so I get flack from them too every
Oh,
time
yeah.
I see them.
That's always a fun conversation right there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we appreciate the call. Thank you.
Who do you want to win the Super Bowl?
Who do we have to win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, who do you want to win the Super Bowl?
Want to win.
I want the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I think we all want
Me
the Bucks.
too.
Yeah, I think we all want
Yeah.
the Bucks, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Royal Rumble Sunday.
Me
yeah.
too.
Oh, yeah.
Me too, for sure.
What are your predictions for that?
I think the Chiefs are gonna win, personally.
Yeah, I think we
I
all.
keep going back and forth. Yeah.
The Chiefs are really good, but if anyone can beat them, it's probably Tom Brady.
Yeah, we'll see.
We will. All right. We appreciate the call. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a great day. Okay, so thank you guys for the calls
Yeah,
again.
thank you. That's like
Yeah,
our first
that's
anonymous
awesome.
caller. I've never been on personally, so.
All right, so where were we?
I think we finished up the Texans.
Yeah, finished up the Texans. Do you have anything more on them, Matthew?
No, I thought they should bring back Hargraves at corner and then Scarlett, who's a linebacker. Those two guys are free agents, both free agents that they should bring back.
Definitely.
We highlighted corner for sure. I mean, even
Yeah,
if they
yeah,
can't bring
definitely.
Hargraves back, but they need to go out and get someone.
They have some of the worst defensive stats in the league this season.
Yeah, but Philip, those are like we're gonna answer those draft questions kind of late, like in the off season more because, like I was saying when he called, like there's so many different ways we could rank those players.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
excited for
We
it.
can go a lot more in depth in
Definitely.
each of those guys too.
For sure. Okay, so let's move to the Titans. We only have about 15 more minutes, so we'll kind of. I don't think we have enough time for the Falcons.
No,
So that was
the,
yeah,
the
yeah.
Falcons will probably
That
take
might
a
take us 2
while.
episodes.
For real. The Titans are a little bit more trouble than I had originally thought. I kind of expected the Titans to be the team in this division that we were like, okay, there's not too much that they have to do. But after looking at them, like, yeah, it was a little bit more than I thought. So, they need an offense and defensive coordinator. They obviously lost Arthur Smith to the Atlanta Falcons, but I did not realize their defensive coordinator retired as well.
Interesting.
Their defense wasn't great this year, but
Probably why I didn't go ahead and.
yeah. But yeah. So they are also under the cap.
What do you have? I have 7.
Yeah, I think I'm looking at 8 right now, but same thing. Tannehill's getting paid $30 million. there's not much you can do about that. You put your eggs in Tannehill's basket. You're gonna have to roll with that. So okay, free agents. What do we have? Okay, where are we starting with this?
My number one thing was pass rush.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Titans' offense, I don't have a lot of tweaking for them. Just get healthy. I mean, obviously, they lost Taylor Lewan. But pass rush is the biggest concern for this team. They went out and got Clowney. Didn't help at all. So I think that whether they draft or go out and get someone, but if they're going to want to beat teams like the Chiefs, they're going to have to get a pass rush going. And that's just one thing their defense lacked. And I just think that's probably the biggest concern for me for them.
How much are they paying Clowney?
He was only
He's
on
gone 1 year, 10 million.
Yeah, that was my first thing is let Clowney walk.
Yeah.
You're not bringing him back. Corey Davis is a free agent for this team. I think you need to bring him back.
Yeah,
definitely.
He is not only a really good complement to A.J. Brown, he's also very good in the run game, and we know Tennessee likes to run the ball. He's a really good run blocker on the outside.
Yeah.
Jonnu Smith is a free agent. That's going to be an interesting one to see.
Delaney Walker's coming back from injury as well.
I said let him walk and then look into tight end in the draft, specifically someone with a good run game background like Jake Ferguson from Wisconsin or Charlie Kohler from Iowa State. Two teams that run the ball a lot.
Yeah, I think Jonnu's going to probably ask for some money, and you really don't have that cap to do it.
Yeah.
I think a guy you might have to cut, Adam Humphries, is their kind of slot receiver who can't really stay healthy. Also, is just not a big part of that offense, and you're paying him $10 million this year.
Wow.
He's Tampa Bay Scotty Miller before Scotty Miller.
Yeah, I think you probably should cut that guy. Just like looking at some Titans beat writer stuff, the guys that they also suggested cutting was Kenny Vaccaro.
Oh, really? Okay.
He's making about $7 million. They just don't. They have their cap situation is really bad. And also, he said the beat writer that I looked up, he was saying that they're probably not going to cut both of these guys, but he recommends either Malcolm Butler or Adoree Jackson.
Yeah.
Malcolm Butler's making 14, and Adoree Jackson's making 10. So
personally, I'd cut Adoree just because of his play, but.
Yeah. But Malcolm Butler at 14 is horrible.
No, it's a lot.
Because he's not great.
No.
He makes one play and he's got a contract for life. So, I mean, yeah, they've got some really weird contracts. I think if I were them, I think Adam Humphries in one of the corners needs to go. That clears up about $20 million in cap space. So
Corey Davis doesn't break the bank either. So I think that they're in a good situation with him. So.
And so if you do cut one of those corners, that becomes a need for you in the draft, along with the edge. I totally agree with that. I think if you cut Humphries, you probably need another wide receiver in the draft. But that's the thing. I feel like you can go get a slot receiver in like the 5th or 6th round, and it's probably same production as Humphries for. Humphries is making $9.75 for $9 million cheaper.
That's a no-brainer. Yeah, that is a really good point.
And then they also need a backup quarterback. Because
who is it? Do we know?
I don't know, but I know Mariota's gone.
Yeah,
Deshaun Kaiser.
Okay.
No.
They're looking late. You're looking late in the draft. A guy that they think that maybe could just sit behind Tannehill and build. Or go sign someone really cheap. But I don't know. Tannehill's pretty young too, so.
Yeah, I'm guessing they'd probably go the old wily veteran route of sign someone who doesn't want a ton of money, but if they need to come in, they can do an okay job.
Yeah. How much does Tannehill's got? 3 more years left on his deal, and it only goes up 34-32. All right. Do we got what else do we? Anything else on the Titans?
I defense and all caps. It's just they want to be able to contend in the AFC. It's just they got to build that defense up.
Yeah, it seems like they have some pretty decent players. Obviously this year just wasn't there. Their defense. Yeah, I agree. Edge rusher needs to be because Clowney's market is also going to be horrible. He's not going to be much.
I can't imagine what it's going to be now.
He had two opportunities to sign a franchise, like a long deal, and he blew both of them.
He messed it up.
Yeah.
How old is he?
28, maybe 29.
29.
20 was the first one that came in my head, but I have nothing back.
No, he's younger, but he was really good, and then he just this offseason just blew the market off, and he just screw it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we have
27.
We have 10 minutes. Do we want to do the Falcons, or do we want to just talk about some stuff? I think we probably wait on the Falcons.
Yeah. I didn't put as much time in it.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about the boys' stadium last night.
Yeah, okay, so I wanted to talk about the Seahawks offense
Let's
coordinator
do
too.
it. We can do
So,
that, yeah.
yeah, Boise, we'll talk about them first. That was a rough game last night. Snaps a 13-game win streak for our beloved Boise State Broncos basketball team. We were all watching the game together, so we can just kind of,
The comment on our last podcast was they got to split, so Friday's huge. They got to win.
Definitely.
Got to win Friday. I think that's just the biggest point to take away from this.
Yeah, I think to put a bright spot on a terrible game, they did have a COVID test, which knocked out their game against Fresno State, and then they weren't able to practice for 2 days before they decided it was a false positive. So they hadn't played a game in roughly around 13, 14 days, right around there. That's what I'm pretty sure about that one. So, I mean, that's tough. And to come out and have to play a team that's on fire, on the road, it makes sense why they didn't shoot very well from the three-point line. So hopefully they can bounce back. But, yeah, they need to split. Like Brandon said, that's a huge thing going into it. They have a really tough stretch with Utah State and San Diego State. So, I mean, they got more tough games to play. And hopefully this is a wake-up call for them. Winning 13 in a row is tough to do. And sometimes you just need to get smacked in the face and then be able to bounce back. So
it seemed like offensively we were just kind of like obviously cold from three, like you mentioned, Matthew, and that's understandable, but it didn't really feel like we had too much of an identity on offense. We didn't really have a clue what we were doing. And against inferior opponents and inferior defenders, that works just because we have really good athletes on this team. But against a team that has, Colorado State for some reason reminds me of Baylor, like in kind of that, like they just have really good athletes on that team, like from 1 to 5 guys that can guard almost every position. And I felt like that we just had a lot of possessions where it was like one guy would just dribble around and he couldn't get anywhere, so then he just passed it to the next guy and then they'd kind of dribble around, and then it ended with either like a sloppy turnover or a badly missed three.
Yeah.
And so I think, hopefully it is a wake-up call and that we are like, okay, offensively we need to run more like design plays to get either our shooters more open or, I don't know, like we need to do something better offensively because it was, not only did we shoot bad, but I felt like we just didn't have a lot of good looks offensively.
Yeah, we also didn't get like any defensive rebounds. Anytime we missed a shot, if it was a reboundable rebound, I guess you could say, whoever that big curly-headed guy was in Colorado State got all
He
of it.
dominated us.
He's huge. There's not much more you can do about that. But
No,
like,
he's
6'5".
He's
Oh,
6'5",
really?
but
I think he's just chunky. He's
250
strong.
plus 50. So
yeah.
15 boards for Roddy.
Yeah.
15, and then the next highest on their team was 6. So, I mean, he just dominated offensively and defensively on their glass.
Does it say how many offensive rebounds he had?
No, not the one I'm looking at.
But it did seem like every time they shot a shot, they got the rebound. And
Yeah.
it's just
And
hard to watch.
it'd be Roddy versus 3 of our guys, and he'd still get the rebound over all of them.
Yeah, I would like to see one player that we haven't seen in a little bit. His name is Lucas Milner. He's actually, I believe, he's a redshirt junior, came on the team this year. He is kind of the other big man we have on this team. And earlier on, he was playing pretty decent. Was able to get 7 or 8 boards a game, but we haven't seen him in like 2 or 3 games. But he's a guy that we probably need to be in there to match up with their bigs, because that's the problem. If we're not hitting threes, they're going to dominate us on the glass and in the paint.
Yeah. All right, so really quickly, Seahawks hire new offense coordinator named Shane Waldron. He was the passing game coordinator. He was the quarterback's coach for a little bit too with the Los Angeles Rams. He's now Russell Wilson's play caller in Seattle. I'm personally very excited about this hire. It worries me a little bit that the last time he's called plays, he was at Buckingham Brown Nichols School, which is a high school, I don't know where.
That's awesome.
But that is the last time he's called plays. Never called plays in the NFL, which is a little bit worrisome. I think overall, though, with the Seahawks, kind of those big play situations or big call situations, it's Pete doing a lot of it. I think, at least. I think he makes the decisions of, like, I don't think we have to worry about this guy, like, not knowing, when to go for it or something like that, because I think with the Seahawks, that's Pete's decision.
Yeah.
So that is kind of like my, as a fan, like, trying to reason through, like, you know what? I'm not too worried about that because he's got, like, Pete's going to make those big calls. But I do like that we went out and got a guy from that Rams team because the Rams offensively kill us every year. So, Matthew, do you have any?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think this hire seems like a Russell Wilson hire. It seems like he made the last hire we made didn't really feel like it meshed with what Russ wanted to do, and this one I feel like he actually got his input in, and I think the team's going to buy into it more. So hopefully we can get more variety in our play calling and our design, because we really haven't had that in a long time. We haven't had any of that motion, really any of that offense that the Rams kill us, like Jack mentioned, every single year. We don't bring that to the table when we have Lockett and DK on the outside that you can utilize as much as you want. So yeah, I'm happy with it all in all. Definitely.
Yeah, I think you guys cover everything. I mean, from an outside point of view, I just really hoped you guys got Adam Gase. But it's okay.
There's a lot of people that thought
it was just going to be a funny one. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to go out and get someone, a Rams organization, offensive side of the ball type of guy, is not a bad bet. So
yeah.
To switch teams on this, what are the Rams? The Rams gave up 3 coaches or something.
Yeah.
Not gave
I
up.
think it's 5.
Really, but
Yeah.
5.
They lost
They lost a lot of
I
coaches.
trust McVay though to not only find guys, but there's probably some guys in his system.
oh, yeah, he's fine.
Like he
Yeah.
he pulled out Staley out of his butt, just and now this guy's a top coaching candidate, and he was like their linebackers coach a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
Because they went from, who was their defense coach before that? The old guy, super
Wade
old.
Phillips.
Wade Phillips, dude's like 90 years old, and then they went from him to a 30-something-year-old dude. And it's like,
Yeah.
it works. I mean, it's just, McVay's a good coach. He's going to be a good coach for a long time.
And he wants people, and people want to coach
yes,
for him.
people want, and people want to play for him. So he's always going to have a nice pull there.
All right, we only got about 3 more minutes. So just for the next, this is kind of our tentative schedule. Next week on the pod will be Tuesday. We're gonna have our Game Chat Award show. I think I'll put something out on our Instagram, like a poll to, or a question thing to have people give us suggestions for awards, because I think we'll be able to create some by ourselves. We should just sit down sometime this weekend and be like, blah 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 award, random, coming up with our own awards to give out. But also I want to, if other people have ideas of awards that we could get out. Then on this show next week, maybe we'll do a couple rebuildings, but we're also going to preview the Super Bowl. That'll be Brandon's birthday, so maybe you won't be here. I don't know if you have plans for your birthday, but
I'll be here.
yeah, you will.
Oh yeah.
And you can have a beer in your hand.
Yeah,
because
I
you'll
like
be
that.
21. Yeah. But yeah, we'll preview the Super Bowl, give our picks and everything on our live show next week, and then we got the Megapod. That's what we've been calling it, I guess. Will be our Super Bowl recap
My body is aching for that.
and our
Podcast and no podcast.
and our restart draft. That'll be fun. We'll have people sitting on the couch here. Hopefully by then we'll be able to. Well, I think honestly for the pod next week we'll get it up on YouTube. I think we'll start doing YouTube. Yeah, just all the time now. So be on the lookout for that. That restart draft might take a while. I could see it. There's 50 picks. So and I want each person's gonna not only it's not just gonna be like Patrick Mahomes, second pick, blah blah blah. We're gonna be debating, giving each other crap for picks.
Live reactions.
Yeah. So, and the Super Bowl recap. So we got a lot of stuff. That's gonna be a fun podcast. Really excited for that. I've said I'm really excited for it so many times. It's just
It's a good day. I mean, it really is. It's
Yeah.
a good day.
and then we're gonna have Brock and Brock's buddy on to talk Zags. The week after that, we're gonna have Theo on to talk Boise State basketball. He's also a big Browns fan, so he'll kind of give us some input on the Browns offseason. We're gonna do our free agency predictions, Selection Sunday, MLB opening preview, NFL draft. We got really good offseason stuff coming up, so I'm really excited.
We're prepared.
This is gonna be fun.
90 seconds.
So yeah, I mean, again, we're trying out YouTube today. I think we'll probably upload this video just because why not?
Screw it.
But yeah, hopefully next week we're gonna try to do these live shows live on YouTube coming up as well.
You go subscribe, please. Reach
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Smash that like button or whatever YouTubers say.
Can you talk to Martez and tell him to ask him if he can add time for Kyle, because it's
60 seconds.
so I don't want him to have to run out. So, all right. Do we have anything else?
No, that's it. Reach out, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Kyle is live. Kyle, you there?
Yes, he is.
How's it going, man?
How are you doing?
Doing pretty
I'm
good.
doing good. Waiting to see if I'm going to pop up on the air or not, but I guess we'll find out in 30 seconds.
we can stay on and help you. You know, just do whatever you need to make the transition go smoothly.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see if Marquez gets back. But otherwise, it might be a separate episode. I'm not sure. We'll find out in a second.
Gotcha. Do we need to like log out or anything?
I don't know. I think we're good. Let's see how it goes.
All right.
We're gonna all find out together.
All right, man. Sounds good. Have a good show.
Thank you.
So we're off the air. Hopefully Kyle's on the air.
I don't know.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but it says
You guys don't hear me?
yeah.
It says the recording is stopped, but the episode is still going on. So, I guess we'll find this out together. I guess since while I'm waiting for Marquez, I guess I'll just play the intro music here. So.
All right. Well, we'll let you have it.